I was playing Death Stranding recently, and a friend asked me, and I quote, "Why is rainbow bad?" He was referring to the numerous instances of an upside-down rainbow that appear early in the game. After a moment of consideration, it occurred to me what symbolic meaning that Kojima seemed to be communicating through the symbol, but I realized this might not be clear to anyone else. So I thought this might be an interesting exercise in symbolic interpretation. And it may make symbolism easier to grasp in the future when you see something that is unfamiliar in any media you might interact with. First, I'm going to review the context in which rainbows appear. Then I will reflect upon traditional rainbow imagery. And then finally, I'll provide a breakdown of how we may reasonably interpret the symbol of an inverted rainbow. Death Stranding is a very confusing game, and from the very beginning you're blasted with unfamiliar images and strange world mechanics. There are BBs, BTs, teleporting women, and rain that ages whatever it touches. In light of all of this, I wouldn't be surprised if most people looked at this and thought it was just another instance of Kojima putting odd details into his world, just to mess with us. However, as I said before, I think there's more to this than meets the eye. First we see the rainbow in the sky, right before a brutal attack by BTs, and these strange large beings that cause a void out with one of the members of your team. This symbol is then repeated like a bad omen. It announces the coming attack, and timefall, the rain that makes everything age faster. This relation is taught to us after several encounters and similar events that occur a few times over the opening hours of the game. In regards to how the rainbow has been historically used, two major examples come to mind. I'll fully acknowledge that my understanding of symbolism is incomplete, but I hope to at least communicate what I do know. The first and weaker connection I found was with Norse mythology. The Bifrost, or Bifrost, is a bridge in the form of a rainbow that connects Asgard to the land of mortals. As some of you may know, one of the major themes of Death Stranding's narrative is connection between people, and how due to certain events in the world, this tie has been severed. However, I think though this rainbow bridge and the upside-down rainbow communicate similar themes, this connection does not carry as much significance as the other major use of rainbows. It is also important to note here that my understanding of Japanese mythology is very limited, but it seems that the Japanese culture has a similar concept of a rainbow that unites the worlds of divine or supernatural beings and the world of humanity. The second significant usage of rainbow imagery is found in Genesis. During the famous Noah's Ark story, a flood of chaotic waters wipes out life. However, Noah and his family are spared, and they are able to find dry ground. God then puts a rainbow in the sky to signify that the chaotic waters would never cover the world again. This rainbow also serves as a symbol of a sort of contract, like that of a marriage, between God and Noah's family. Through this, we may be able to see more of this connection motif between the supernatural and the world of mankind. It is important to note that the timing of this rainbow symbol is also significant, as it signifies the end of a time of trials and chaos, which is quite counter to what we saw in the usage of the rainbow in the context of the game. So where the rainbow in Norse or Japanese mythology may represent a new connection, the rainbow in Genesis represents peace, hope, and a restored relationship with the divine. Here, I think we can start to see how these ideas are connected. In all these cases, the rainbow is used to mark a transition between worlds. This isn't as clear in the Norse mythology example, as the transition is bi-directional, that is, between Asgard and Midgard. But in the case of Death Stranding and in Genesis, the transition is either from chaos to peace or from peace to chaos. This difference, I think, is best explained by the physical appearance of the rainbows in Death Stranding, as they are inverted. This may be obvious to some, but when a symbol is inverted, it often twists the meaning to the opposite equivalent. So where a traditional rainbow, as we see one in the sky with its arc with a curve upward, may symbolize connection, hope, and peace, an inverted rainbow would produce the opposite, being separation, despair, and chaos. This upside-down rainbow serves as a gateway to chaos and destruction, as opposed to the rainbow that marks a new unity between humanity and the divine. It is also interesting to note that our experience of rainbows reflects in some way through this traditional understanding. Rainbows require not only the presence of rain, but the presence of sunlight. It marks the ending of a storm. When we see the inverted rainbow, all is dark, and the rain has not yet started. This unnatural appearance is certainly used to evoke a response from the player, noticing the unnatural appearance and the form the rainbow takes in the sky. If anyone is taking notes, the structure of my analysis is this. 1. Identify a symbol. 2. Identify the properties associated with said symbol. 3. Look for similar usages. 4. Identify the properties of similar symbols. And 5. Identify what properties are shared and which ones are not, and use this to better understand how this affects your understanding of the work itself. This can be applied widely, and I hope I was able to provide some inspiration for you to further analyze works that you find significant. Lastly, I want to thank you for joining me on this exercise, and I hope that it has helped you better understand how pervasive these symbols really are. Please let me know in the comments if there's anything you would like to see, and let me know if you have any questions.